Thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. Before I get into this, yes, hat on, covering the hair. If you're new to the channel, no, it's not a receding hairline. It's just I haven't had a chance to get a cut. With the restrictions, I haven't had a cut since February, since I was in London. And now it's just beyond annoying. So the hat's going to be a recurring theme on videos moving forward. It's just going to be the way it is until I can get to a barber. God knows when that'll be. Hopefully next month, but likely July, unfortunately. Or unless, see, I had a mate who was a barber, but he's sadly no longer here. And then I don't really know any other barbers who I could go to do it, so I'm stuck kind of waiting. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into this topic. So promoter Eddie Hearn has explained that he gave an interview on the SNI or the SI Now podcast. I don't know how exactly it worded. It's capital S, capital I, capital N, and then OW. So we'll call it the SN Now podcast. And he has put forward some scenarios for Canelo Alvarez and boxing moving forward. Now this is, just seeing this here is very ambitious, I would say. Very ambitious. I think I seen somewhere else, I'm not sure, it might have been on Boxing Scene, that Eddie Hearn is adamant that AJ Pulev, it's not going to happen in the UK. Right? We know that. Because AJ, he wanted the homecoming. Like, he could have had this fight in Saudi Arabia, could have had it in Turkey for a lot more money than in the UK, prior to the current, issues we have going on. He wanted the homecoming. Now he can still fight in the UK, but behind closed doors with no fans. So it looks likely that they're going to take this to a country where maybe the restrictions aren't as tight, such as Saudi Arabia, or I think Croatia was the name that's being mentioned. That's one thing that's going to be happening. But this scenario here with Eddie Hearn that he's been announced about Canelo, Triple G and Billy Joe Saunders is very ambitious. Obviously, if we were in a situation where things were normal and the economy wasn't about to go into absolute disarray, I would say there's a very good chance this could happen. But given the current issues ongoing, I find this very optimistic. So he said that he wants to do GGG versus, I think it's that Polish mandatory he has. I give up. I'm just not even going to bother with these names anymore. I stopped doing that months ago. But we all know the guy he's meant to be fighting. He wants to do that in August. Obviously that would be behind closed doors. Then he wants Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders in September. Alright. Now, last weekend, Billy Joe Saunders, if all this hadn't happened, would have been in the US, in Vegas, more than likely, fighting Canelo Alvarez for a career high payday of $8 million. I doubt very much so it'll be $8 million if he fights Canelo in September. That's an if. I can imagine it would probably be less than that, because the gate would pay for a lot of that. There's no pay-per-view, obviously. The Zone do have a lot of money, so they may be able to give Billy Joe that payday, but the Zone is not pay-per-view, so you wouldn't be paying a pay-per-view, so it wouldn't make any money from a pay-per-view necessarily, and it wouldn't make any money from gate receipts because it would be behind closed doors. So I would imagine that that's unlikely. If it was Canelo Triple G, possibly for September. And I say possibly because those two guys, maybe they want to get on a third time. They're both financially they both made their money. They made all their money, prior to the first fight, realistically. So maybe they wouldn't mind necessarily taking a pay cut. I don't know if there would be a pay cut would even be an option, because the Zone do have very deep pockets. But Billy Joe, he's never made anything close to $8 million. I think $1 million is the most he's ever got paid, and that was to fight Lemieux. So I find that very optimistic. What I find even more optimistic, he says if they both win, he wants to do Canelo versus Triple G 3 in December. Definitely can't see that happening. We've seen Canelo have short turnarounds before, but Canelo Alvarez, 2 fights behind, December, maybe. you'd be able to get some fans in. Maybe, it's a big maybe. That's potentially what might happen, but Eddie Hearn is not taking things into equation. Like, I mean, like, yeah, potentially we could get Canelo Triple G with fans, but people are not going to have as much disposable income these days. I mean, I don't think people understand really how bad things are going to be when things start to get back to normal. I mean, we are going to be, there are businesses who are going to go bust, who are going to lose their jobs, people who have started, look, I told the story and I'll tell it again, of a girl I used to work with, and we haven't spoken since like March, but she left in March because she wanted to work as an air hostess. I think within a week of starting was when, you know, all this restrictions came in, the airport got closed. I don't know if she has her job back, but considering the fact that the company she's going to work for are cutting something like 1,000 staff, that's not a good sign. So people are going to be not in a position to maybe travel or go to some of these shows if they can, and depending on how much tickets are, of course. So I know, I find that very optimistic from Eddie Hearn to be putting forward those two fights in such quick succession. Like, if you were talking Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders in September, and then Canelo fighting Triple G Cinco de Mayo, May next year, yeah, definitely I could see that. Could see it without question. But 3 months, give or take 3 months after fighting Billy Joe, if he fights Billy Joe in September, fighting Triple G, you know, potentially, like, it depends how hard the Billy Joe fight is if Canelo fights Billy Joe, and obviously depends how hard Triple G's mandatory is. But just with the way the economy is, I just can't see. We know the Zone have deep pockets, so maybe they could, you know, front the money for that fight, and each fight, I should say, and put the money up, but it's optimistic. It's saying that he hasn't announced where any of them would be. He's just said they're the 2 fights he wants to do. So would Canelo go to Saudi Arabia? Would the Saudis put up the money? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So that's optimistic from Eddie Hearn, but it is nice that we're getting boxing talk back. You know, as I said, it's affected all of us on YouTube. You know, I mean, I was looking back, I think I've said this, at some of my videos from like January, February, and I mean, like, some of the videos were in the thousands, and they were regularly hitting 1,000 views, plus some were in the high hundreds, gaining 150 subs a month. Now it's like 30 subs a month, and like my videos are getting in the low hundreds, you know, which is still good. I'm not a big channel, so to still have good viewer retention is great, but it's crazy to see where it been when boxing was, you know, ongoing, to where it is now, where you're really trying and scrimp whatever news you can get together. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, but it's nice to get box talk. Let me know your thoughts on that. I would imagine, if I had to bet, that we would see Triple G Canelo 3 before we see Billy Joe versus Canelo. That's just my assumption. I just think that's the way it's going to be. I would imagine if we see Canelo or Triple G this year, it won't be 2 fights, it'll be 1, and it'll be between the 2 of them. So those are my thoughts on this. Let me know yours. Do you think Billy Joe will fight Canelo before Triple G? Let me know yours down below. Do you think that plan can actually get made? Do you think I'm maybe reading too much into what's going on in the world, which, you know, I personally don't think I am, but, you know, let me know your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. Hope you like the hat, and as always, I will talk to you. So before I go, I just want to say thank you for dropping by the channel. I really do appreciate it. I mean, all the support, all the things that have happened on this channel over the last year have been incredible. If you're new to the channel, as you see on screen there's a couple of like older videos that I have. Some of them aren't really relevant now, to be fair, but some of them are, like my Fighters with a Problem series, stuff like that. If you like any of this, please subscribe, like the video you just watched, share it, do it, all you gotta do. Let's try and keep this channel going, because I love doing this, and I love interacting with the fans, and I love hopefully the fans love watching my videos. So thank you for dropping by. I've been G-Man. I will talk to you.